Approximately 40% of Indians living above the poverty line will fall below it the moment they face a major hospital bill. Many assume this happens because the country lacks modern facilities, but the evidence in today's operating theaters suggests otherwise. India possesses medical technology and surgical capabilities that frequently match or exceed Western standards. The surgical volume is so high that an Indian surgeon might perform in a month what an American surgeon does in an entire year. It is a level of experience so rare that foreign doctors frequently travel to India just to gain it. This crisis stems from a massive financial gap between high-end medical capability and what an average patient can actually afford. To understand why the bill is so high, we have to look at the core unit of this crisis. This 3D wireframe illustrates a single modern hospital bed. Establishing it requires a massive financial ecosystem. Factoring in the infrastructure, real estate, and robotic technology required to support it, the baseline cost to create this unit adds up to roughly 2.5 crores. This creates a brutal economic paradox. If one bed costs 2.5 crores to build, how does a hospital survive the overhead? And how does a patient survive the resulting bill? Decades ago, a village doctor relied purely on clinical diagnosis and the absolute trust of their patients. There were few tests, minimal overhead, and the cost of care was practically pocket change. As the doctor-patient relationship eroded and the threat of lawsuits grew, the industry shifted toward a practice known as defensive medicine. Today, doctors require indisputable proof of their diagnoses to protect themselves legally. They rely heavily on multi-specialty testing and complex technology, like the robotic surgical system shown here, to provide a data-backed shield against liability. Treating a tremor with an MRI-guided ultrasound now costs around 20 lakhs for a 5-minute procedure. A complex lung transplant can easily push the final bill to 3 crores. While this defensive approach ensures accuracy and legal protection for the hospital, it transfers the entire financial burden directly to the patient. Even with those massive bills, hospitals struggle. Raising that initial 2.5 crores per bed is only the first step in keeping the doors open. Dr. Bhaskar Rao, founder of KIMS Hospitals, points to a critical concept called loss funding. This financial bar chart shows a hospital's total capital expenditure, with a distinct 25% segment sectioned off at the top. Hospitals must hold exactly 25% of their capital in reserve. As the buffer drains over the first 18 months of operation, this cash keeps the business afloat while it operates at a loss. Without securing this hidden cash buffer, even the most technologically advanced hospitals run out of money and go bankrupt, destabilizing the entire local healthcare ecosystem. India lacks a strict primary care referral pipeline. In places like the UK, as seen with this NHS signage, patients must see a general practitioner before they can access a specialist. In India, patients often bypass primary doctors entirely. They take minor health issues straight to the most expensive corporate hospitals, clogging the waiting rooms and straining the staff. Yet, despite that visible rush in the lobby, there is a massive inefficiency hidden in the wards. This grid represents a standard 100-bed corporate hospital, where exactly 20% of the beds sit permanently empty. Dr. Rao realized he could utilize this vacancy. He pitched the Arogyasri scheme, allowing the government to pay the baseline cost price to fill those specific empty beds with patients living below the poverty line. Utilizing existing unused overhead became the blueprint for massive national initiatives, as shown here with Prime Minister Modi launching Ayushman Bharat. This logic of filling empty vacancies scaled up to cover millions of people. Government schemes protect the absolute poorest, but the rising costs of this technology leave the middle class highly vulnerable to the 2.5 crore bed ecosystem. Surviving this reality requires looking at health insurance through a different lens. It can no longer be viewed as an optional expense or a wasted premium if you happen to stay healthy for a year. It is a long-term investment. Setting aside a few minor weekly lifestyle expenses compounds into a protective barrier, shielding a family from sudden financial ruin. Ignoring the current rate of medical inflation leaves families exposed to costs that can deplete a lifetime of savings in a matter of weeks. There is a positive shift happening. India is retaining more of its top medical talent, and these modern doctors are highly capable. This generation of surgeons craves the experience provided by India's sheer patient volume. The opportunity to handle complex cases daily is effectively reversing the decades-old medical brain drain. If the country can fix the underlying economics of the hospital bed through smart insurance adoption and strict referral pipelines, it won't just be the best place in the world for doctors to learn, it will be the best place for patients to heal.